What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here bringing another video. Today I'm bringing you a video on Powerpuff Girls 2016 episode 23. It's been a while since episodes have come out now, but finally they are back. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this up completely, but probably. I don't know. I was debating it just because I'm kind of focused elsewhere, but like maybe. I guess for this episode I will. This episode was entitled Presidential Punchout. Okay episode. The episode goes around, talks about Blossom running for president of the school that she goes to, and the thing is that like they're all campaigning, whether it be through speeches, and she's part of the, you know, the Protractors initiative or something like that, some crazy thing that's complete like whatever. And you know, she's trying to like, you know, say all these things like vote for me because of this and this and this and this, and like, you know, people are voting for her, people like her, and there's another candidate who's like this you know, other kid who no one really cares about, and then you have a surprise new candidate, which is Princess Morbucks, who hasn't shown up in quite some time. She makes an appearance in this episode, which is cool to see her because we haven't had a you know, older character from previous episode, from like the original show up in a while, so it's good to see someone like her show up, even though she's like the most not surprised, even though she's one character that I would expect. Anyway, she's running for president as well. She ends up creating a campaign video to, you know, go against Blossom and all of her great things and all that, and she ends up having like this white tiger with like sunglasses and like, you know, some posse with her that are like trying to encourage people to vote for her, and people are doing that, and then, you know, there's this whole entire argument, and then, you know, they end up arguing, the girls end up arguing back at home, and the thing is that like Bubbles is voting for Princess Morbucks, but at the same time, like, there's like the sister argument, and there's so many different situations that are happening, and then they're like, I'll see you in the presidential debates. And the thing is that it's like they put them inside of like a wrestling arena, and it's just like, this is a debate. Like, they're not, like, the idea is not to fight, but they do, except the one candidate that's just kind of in the middle there, that's like really not looked at, you know, he doesn't fight, he just kind of just tries to be himself or whatever, and so there's constant fighting, and eventually what ends up happening is that like they're both Blossom and Princess Morbucks are looked at really poorly in the end, and it's really crazy because like they're both, you know, running for these campaigns, and they're both looked at as these candidates that are a little bit over the top, like maybe just a little. But like you have this other candidate's like, oh yeah, like they forgot to give me my podium, my stand, and all of that, and let me speak. But it's like, oh, it's cool, I got one, it's all right. I had to like go find it somewhere, and it's like he's just so innocent, and like, you know, no one cares about him, and it's just this very funny moment because it's just like, you know, you clearly can tell that they don't like his presence was so like devalued, and it's intentional, but it's just sort of funny and like kind of sad at the same time. And you know, you have all these people that are in the stands and looking at it like, whoa, yeah, let's see this debate go on, and they're all like freaking out, and it's all crazy. Just overall a really, really wild and unusual episode, but an episode that totally makes sense for this show, even though in the original show this would totally not happen, you know. This is obviously due to the era of time, and also due to what is popular and trending in the media now. So, you know, that is key. That is very much so a big aspect of a lot of these episodes. Anyway, all this ends up happening. You know, this is obviously meant to connect to, you know, common event, like recent events with the presidential elections. I'm not going to give any opinions of my own opinion regarding that, but you get my point. Clearly, they are trying to tap into that and, you know, use it as a means to, you know, encourage people to watch this episode because it's like, oh, it's relatable. Oh, presidential, you know, break, like Punchout. Ooh, it sounds interesting. I want to know more. You know, that's all it is. That's basically what they're going off of, rather than doing what they used to. I'm not saying this episode was bad, but this episode could have been a little bit more interesting. I understand what they were going with because it's totally logical, and it's definitely an interesting way to, you know, take advantage of the current situation of politics and all that. You know, they reference the political, like, they didn't do stuff that was like referencing current politics, like to the point that it's like, oh, so and so represents so and so, and so and so represents so and so. Like, they didn't do that, but like there was definitely a sense of like, you know, they were trying to gain view, like this was purely for that purpose. But that point aside, let's go back to what I was saying. Overall, this episode was interesting. Afterwards, what happens is that they both end up losing Princess Morbucks and Blossom, and instead the other kid ends up getting the vote because the both of them have to end up dropping out. And the thing is that, you know, Blossom's like, oh, good luck. Oh, I'm very happy for you that you won, and thank you for continuing the protractor initiative or whatever. And it's like, oh, no problem, absolutely, I would totally do it. Like, you know, he's a very nerdy and innocent kid, but it was just kind of fun to just, you know, see this episode play out. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm kind of looking at this very quickly just because I wasn't like, because I don't know what to expect sometimes. But you know, this was an okay episode. It could have been better. You know, what do you call it? Buttercup was a huge advocate of Blossom, really trying to push for things, trying to go against Princess Morbucks. And I mean, obviously, Buttercup just hates Princess Morbucks. Bubbles is a little bit more, you know, carefree and a little bit more manipulated easily. So that's kind of partially why things ended up working out the way they were. And the thing is that also Bubbles was a character that in this episode, you know, was like argued back and forth between, like, it was like, I'll give you this, I'll give you this, I'll give you, and it's like, I don't know who to vote for, you know. And it's just connecting to that general idea of like voting in general and the elections and how people feel sometimes and the pressures of things. So I mean, it's an interesting episode. It wasn't like the best, but it was good. It was nice to see Princess Morbucks. I mean, this I think is like her third or fourth time that she's shown up, which is good. You know, I mean, most of these characters really have only shown up either once or twice in most cases. I mean, him has shown up like once. I mean, a lot of these characters really haven't shown up that much. So it's nice to see when characters return. So it is good to see that Morbucks did return again, even though she's probably the one character that's returned the most of all of them so far. That and Mojo. Those two characters especially have shown up a ton. Everyone else has been like one, maybe two appearances on most occasions. So it's, you know, it's been very minimal. I don't really know what to expect, and also I'm still interested in the show. It's just that I haven't thought about it in a while, and I saw that they finally recently released an episode, so I was like, I might as well do a video on it because that happened. And I'm sure plenty of people were curious about, like, you know, what was the episode talking about. So, you know, this one was a little bit shorter as far as review purposes go, but I think that, you know, it did its job, just basically covering the overall idea of the episode. Again, not the best, but a perfectly good episode. Again, please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook page. All those places are where you can find me and see all my posts that I do regularly, whether it be for videos or images or Twitter or comments. You know, a lot of that stuff is all over the place, so you can find it in a multitude of locations. And I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I'm Crazy Samurai 1, and goodbye, guys.